In the winter of 1897, a fully operational mining settlement in the northern mountains was systematically deleted from every official geographic and civic map. The town existed on paper for nearly 40 years, and then, in the span of 30 days, it was gone. These company ledgers provide a clear paper trail, documenting the town's existence well into the 1890s. Beyond these books, Grey Ridge appeared in tax records and railway schedules, mundane, daily evidence of a functioning community that disappeared within a single month. Erasing a town required coordination across multiple public and private institutions. Looking at this railway timetable, you can see the density of the regional network. To hide the settlement, the railway company deleted the station name from its schedules, while the county archive actively replaced its master maps. A standard corporate failure leaves behind ruins, debt, and a paper trail. This synchronized effort across different agencies to purge every public mention of the town indicates the company was managing a situation far more severe than a simple bankruptcy. Decades after the records were purged, a single piece of evidence surfaced, a cracked glass plate photograph found inside a sealed wooden box. It shows the frozen valley, a cluster of cabins, and a mine entrance partially hidden by the mountain fog. When the image is enlarged, the behavior of the workers becomes visible. They are standing near the tunnel entrance, but they aren't working. They are completely still, facing the darkness of the shaft, without moving to enter or leave. Scratched into the stone above the entrance are 3 words: "Do not open." Every surviving fragment of the company's history indicates this mine had already been operating safely for 17 years before that warning was carved. Understanding why a thriving industrial site suddenly required a permanent warning requires a closer look at the specific timeline of the town's expansion. Grey Ridge was founded in 1880 on a singular geological promise: limitless copper in the upper ridges and silver in the lower veins. The company's survey suggested there was enough ore to keep the mountain profitable for generations. The town expanded rapidly to house the massive influx of labor. As seen in this photograph of the church, the settlement included a store, a small dedicated schoolroom, and a large boarding house, the infrastructure of a permanent, stable community. This group of miners was part of an industrialized 3-shift system designed to keep the mine active 24 hours a day. The first crew entered at sunrise, the second crew at sunset, and the third by lantern light. The operation was defined by its mechanical noise, the constant grind of iron wheels on rails, and the heavy rhythm of hammers, like those seen here in the blacksmith shop, echoing from deep within the solid rock. For 16 years, Grey Ridge was a machine of predictable logic. When the operation collapsed in 1896, it wasn't from a mechanical failure or lack of ore. In the autumn of 1896, workers began reporting a low, rhythmic vibration in the deepest tunnel. It wasn't constant, but it was powerful. It was enough to violently rattle the dust and pebbles on the floor. It felt less like the shifting of rock and more like a slow, heavy pulse. The psychological pressure eventually broke the workforce. One miner walked 18 miles through the snow just to reach the nearest town, telling absolutely anyone who would listen that he had heard someone, or something, knocking from the other side of the mountain wall. Management dismissed these reports as superstition, providing standard geological explanations. They blamed the groaning of timber beams under pressure and the natural acoustics of deep tunnels for the strange sounds. By relying strictly on traditional mining science, the company failed to account for the physical evidence of an active, intelligent force developing within the mine. The anomaly eventually moved beyond sound. Each night, the heavy tools left in the storage chamber near Tunnel 7 began to move on their own and were found the next morning deep inside the unlit shafts. The tools were found in straight lines pointing toward an unexcavated black stone wall. To stop suspected sabotage, the company locked the chamber and posted guards. Yet the tools vanished from the sealed room and reappeared at the black wall. They had bypassed the guards entirely without a single lock being tampered with. Scratched into the black stone alongside the tools were the numbers 7, 13, and 28, repeated dozens of times across the rock face. The failure of the locked room security proved that the movement wasn't the work of the miners. Something inside the mountain was operating independently of any physical barriers. Armed with the timeline of the Black Wall, the 1897 photograph takes on a different meaning. These men are witnessing the final result of the migration and the scratching in the stone. Following the migration of the tools, the miners breached that black wall, moving into the absolute dark of the unmapped stone. The subsequent bureaucratic erasure of Grey Ridge acted as a final containment protocol. By deleting the town from every official map and record, the company ensured that the site would remain inaccessible and forgotten by the public. No company abandons a profitable, multi-decade silver mine over a geological glitch. Their decision to bury the town's history confirms that what they found behind the Black Wall was a threat they could not control. They didn't destroy whatever was breathing inside the mountain. They simply removed the directions to find it. And if that entity was still waiting when the last maps were burned, it is still there today.